better not have no plans tonight.
Movie time and it's feeling right.
You're looking for a love that lasts. You'll find it at Romancing the Podcast. Ooh, ooh, baby, you had me at hello. Ooh, I love you.
I know.
Ooh, ooh, baby, you're the wind beneath my wings. Ooh, ah, I'll have what she's having.
Thank you for tuning into Romancing the Pod. You had us at hello. I'm Paige Wesley.
And I'm your John Gage Todd. And that means this week, Paige made us watch
Indecent Proposal.
Paige.
Yes.
I have two questions. First off, how dare you? Secondly, have you seen this movie before?
No, this is my first time.
It was my first time too.
Yeah. I was aware of this movie because it is in the zeitgeist and people have tried to remake it multiple times. And the one that we watched with Nicolas Cage in Las Vegas is very much a spoof of this movie.
Honeymoon in Vegas?
Honeymoon in Vegas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But just, slightly different with hilariously bad sets and flying Elvises.
And Bruno Mars, honestly.
Right, because they did look like Bruno Mars.
No. Baby Bruno Mars is in that movie.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Bruno Mars is in that. It's a fun fact. You told me that.
Oh, that's
I
right.
learned
That's
that
right.
from
That's
you,
right.
Paige.
He's like one of the performing children.
Yes.
Fuck. Okay. I totally forgot about that. Anyway, I feel like this movie very much has a point of view of who it thinks is in the wrong. And I disagree with the movie a lot.
Yeah. I think this movie's a steaming pile of dog shit. I hope I never see it again. Like, it was painful to sit through. I felt like I was sitting in a lecture that was being given by Elon Musk.
It's bonkers. Like, this movie wants Demi Moore to be the villain so badly.
Right. And all she did was the only one who did the work. If anybody gets that fucking money, it should be Demi Moore.
She should have that fucking money.
Yeah.
But secondly, she is reacting and trying to please the people around her. And then they blame her for it. It's so great. Like, when he throws that wine bottle at her, I was like, honey, you better leave and go sleep with that rich guy, because if a man threw a bottle at me in my own damn home that I paid for because I'm the only one working because he's doing architecture for the love of the fucking game and not with any kind of firm or some shit, those last seconds after he threw that bottle would be the last seconds that man was in my house, because he better be leaving on his own 2 feet or I'm sending him up to God with a knife. But either way, you're getting out of my damn house.
What is he going to do against God with a knife?
No.
Oh, you're going to stab him. Sorry. I thought you were going to send him to fight God with a knife.
He can't fight God.
That is literally bringing a knife to a God fight.
He doesn't have any of the sense of urgency or the drive to fight God. Irresponsible. But the movie treats this like she cheated and then he's blaming her for it and then she's a bitch for sleeping with a rich guy, and I'm like, the only person that I put zero blame on in this movie is Demi Moore.
Yeah, legit. The only victim in the movie. I don't even know if I'd call her a victim necessarily. I mean, she's a victim of some abuse from Woody Harrelson.
Some abuse from Woody Harrelson and some love bombing from Robert Redford.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
But that's it. I don't think she makes, I think she makes choices I would not advise, but I don't think she makes any malicious choices in the movie, if that makes sense.
The one decision that Woody Harrelson hates her for is a decision they made together as a couple.
Together! They made that decision together, which we got to talk about that decision. Because the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I don't know why Woody Harrelson can't get over this and just spend that $1 million.
I mean, I would struggle with Natalie having sex with a billionaire.
You would have never let Natalie go.
No, never. I mean, if it was my decision. I also think that was kind of gross, where he was like, hey, can I bang your wife for $1 million? And she's in the room. They're talking about her like she's like Johnny Lingo's wife, which is a joke only Mormons will get, and Paige, and the guys from God-awful movies. But they're treating her like cattle in a scene. It's gross.
Sure. Well, but this is part of Robert Redford's manipulation, because when they're on the date, which I do think that is something that Honeymoon in Vegas does that this movie doesn't, that I kind of wish this movie did, is we don't really see much of that night with Robert Redford, not even in flashback, not even later.
No, there's no sex scene between the two of them.
Not at all. And I don't necessarily need to see a sex scene, but I want to see, because he does say nothing will happen to you that you don't choose. And that is her kind of conflict.
Yeah, and then he kisses her without her consent.
Then he kisses her without her consent.
So yeah, like clearly he didn't mean any of that shit.
Clearly he didn't mean it.
Also, he left it up to chance and had a double-sided like heads coin.
Right.
Like the dude's a shitbag. Like he's terrible too.
Oh, yeah. But what I really kind of wanted to see, because what Demi Moore's conflict is that, and she does admit it to Woody Harrelson, is like, I didn't have a bad time. I had a good time. And she's not like actively pursuing him after, but she's like,
No.
It wasn't awful.
I think she only actively pursues him after. I don't even think she actively pursues him. We see him actively pursue her, and she kind of is just like, well, I mean, Woody Harrelson doesn't want to be with me.
And threw bottles at my head.
So I may as well be with this billionaire who can dick me down like fucking Massimo.
100%. Oh, Massimo. Yeah. But like, it's this element of like, I would have loved to have seen what he did to win her over to a degree, right?
You mean Robert Redford?
Yes.
He stalked her like a friggin' psycho for like a month.
I mean, on that one night,
Oh,
what
yeah.
did he do to make her be like, it wasn't that bad? And admittedly, we know he's rich. We know he's wily. You know, to find out that those things were a lie later would have made him more evil. But then there's like that part at the very end where he breaks up with her, or rather forces her to break up with him by telling her that there are many other women. And then the driver is like, why did you say all those things? Almost implying that either they're not true or they never meant to tell him.
I thought that they weren't true.
I thought they weren't
the
true
way they're
either.
being performed, and you're right, we don't really get a confirmation either way. But the way the driver and Robert Redford are playing that
Yes.
is like two friends who were yes-anding each other, and the driver doesn't really quite understand why.
Right.
Obviously, Robert Redford does because he's the one that started it.
Right.
So I didn't believe that the $1 Million Girls Club existed or whatever he said.
Right.
Yeah. I also think it makes sense because in the last scene, you see all three of them together where Woody Harrelson signs the divorce papers. Robert Redford is looking on that scene, and he is very much emoting like he is watching his younger self having that misconnection with the woman on the train. Like
Right.
that is he's like, oh shit.
Yes.
I am ruining Woody Harrelson's like love of his life, just like
Right,
mine got
right.
ruined for me.
Right.
And like, that's not the way a billionaire would think. Like he is a sociopath. Like this dude like shows you over and over in the movie that he's a shitbag, terrible fucking human being. And like, I didn't buy that shit at all. Although like Robert Redford's so good. I of course do buy it.
Robert Redford, I think, has the best performance in the movie.
I totally bought it. But like, that's not the way billionaires behave.
No.
I also thought, Paige, I have a question.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Okay. So like, I get it. Robert Redford in 93, he's an older dude.
I'd hit it.
But he's well put together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I got why Demi Moore was like, $1 million? Yeah, I guess. That sounds fine to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
whatever. Yeah, it's Robert fucking Redford.
And it's $1 million in 1993.
Yes, and Paige, of course I looked that up. It's like $2.2 million today.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if that was like real life today, you are just being paid $1 million
Sure.
to have sex with, or spend a night with Elon Musk, more or less. And like, he wouldn't be like taking you to his boat or whatever. He would be like trying to prove to you that he actually plays Path of Exile 2
I can't.
and trying to teach her how to shit post online. And he would draw
No.
like one of Laura Croft's boobs on a napkin and be like, no, it's a car or whatever. And then he would double
It's
down
a
on the fact that it's a car, and he would like make cucks pay 100,000 plus for it. And like knowing that like literally the panels are just like hot glued gun on this car, all while pretending we're not supposed to realize he's deep in a K-hole. Like it would be a nightmare. You couldn't pay me $1 million now to hang out with Elon Musk. No touching involved.
Yeah, no, you could not pay me to hang out with Elon Musk, no touching involved. But if you offered me $1 million and we time traveled and they're like, all you got to do is bang 93's Robert Redford, I'm pretty sure my husband would be like, do it and tell me what it's like. And I'd be like, we're about to pay off our house. And like, it would be the easiest decision we ever made.
I'd be like, is he a top or a bottom? Like what's in the cards? You know what I'm saying? Like what's on the table for me?
Right.
Because that does change the calculus.
That changed the count. Right. Because I was actually thinking about this. Now, I was thinking celebrity. I did not think Elon Musk, which would be more of the reality and would be absolutely.
It would be Elon Musk, or you'd be staring at Jeff Bezos's bald head while he really proves to you he doesn't do enough cardio. He just does vanity muscle weights.
No.
And he would be sweating and dry heaving on top of you all night. It would be a nightmare. Ask the vampire he married. Anyway.
I mean, here's the terrible part. Now that we're listing this out, I'm realizing I would be much more likely to do this for less money with someone who's not that annoying.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thing to think about.
100%.
If they were it's $500,000, but you have to sleep with Harrison Ford or something, I'd be all right.
Harrison Ford today or Harrison Ford in 93?
Oh, I mean Harrison Ford today. We're still making that deal. I'm sure he doesn't want to be there either. But I'm just saying.
Honestly, he just wants to take you in his plane.
Oh,
which
then
I wouldn't do it. I would not do that.
No. Well, I mean, I'd take out another $500,000 in life insurance. That's for damn sure.
And Jake would be thankful. He'd be spending all the way to the bank.
Be thanks for paying off the house, honey. But this rings to me have you ever heard people be dudes be would you suck a dick for $1 million? And it's yeah, it's $1 million. It's one dick. First of all, no one's offering you that.
I don't think I would, Paige, but I would seriously consider it. You know what I'm saying?
Of course you would. It's $1 million.
If I was single, obviously, or Natalie was yeah, go ahead and find out why it's a job.
Look.
You know what I'm saying?
No, real. Let's flip the tables. Let's say somebody offered my husband $1 million for some sort of interaction. If he was okay with it, I'd be have fun and let's pay off the house.
Yeah, right?
Enjoy it. I do not have that much of an ego to think that this one night would define our entire relationship the way Woody Harrelson fucking does.
Yeah, and I think the movie kind of shows that. And I that's kind of the one thing I like about the movie. And it's that Woody Harrelson is such a little bitch that he destroys a great relationship with his wife.
Yes.
I don't know if that's what the movie was trying to tell me, but that's the way I saw it.
I don't think the movie was, because I do think the movie tries to blame her.
Me
but
too.
They do depict this because in my mind, when she got back, she was ready to put it behind her, not think about it at all, have the money. And the only time she contacts him at all is to try and get Woody Harrelson's land back for his stupid fucking house.
Yeah.
And so I did not see her wanting to continue that relationship at all. In fact, if Woody Harrelson had not done anything and they just continued on their way and had their money and, bought a different property and whatever, even if Robert Redford had continued to pursue her, I don't think it would have stuck. I think the only reason she responds to any of it is because Woody Harrelson got full on abusive.
Yeah.
And he leaves her.
Yes.
Woody Harrelson fucking leaves.
Yeah, he
and
does.
so at a certain point, I'm yeah, what would you do? And it's 1993's Robert Redford. Let's go.
When Oliver Platt, who is my favorite part of this movie by far, says she wants to divorce you, I was wait, did he not divorce her? He left her.
Right.
Of course she wants to divorce him. He hasn't been there for months.
Right.
It's all on him, 100%, that his marriage falls apart.
100%.
It has nothing to do with Demi Moore. I mean,
for a thing that he co-signed on.
Yes, for a decision they made together. I think that he blames her, and I think that is so dumb.
Right.
But yeah, he just destroys this great relationship he has with his wife because she earned them $1 million in an agreement that they agreed together and brought lawyers into.
And she was not going to continue that relationship at all. And honestly, that's also part of why she doesn't want to talk to him about it or tell him what happened, because she admits she didn't have a bad time and she knows that's going to make him fucking psycho. Instead of being I'm glad you didn't have a bad time because I was worried about you.
Yeah.
Instead of a normal reaction.
Which I do think if he asks, maybe tell him.
Sure.
But also, if you ask and you get the honest answer, you can't be mad about that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You can be kind of sad and kind of hurt that you made a terrible choice and wish you hadn't. And
sure.
maybe you should go to therapy and fix your shit because you're a terrible dude. But It's not Demi Moore's fault.
Look, I mean, if Jake and I agreed to do this, I'd be back the next morning being like, yo, this dude has like a gumball machine full of caviar. Like, I would just be reporting back on all the crazy rich person shit.
Honestly, a gumball machine full of caviar does sound like the kind of fancy I picture Robert Redford being in real life. Like eating a cheese pizza in the back of a limo fancy. Like that kind of fancy. Like super fancy.
Like Home Alone 2 levels of luxury.
Like real fancy.
Have I ever eaten a cheese pizza in the back of a limo? I could fix that real fast. We can live that dream, Todd.
Yeah, limos. You don't buy a limo, but you could like rent a limo for a few $100s an hour. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, if you want to just be like, we've achieved this.
But every time I call a limo place and you like get their like automated system, they're like, press 1 if you want to eat cheese pizza in the back, and then you hit that, and then it just hangs up on you because they have a no cheese pizza policy.
Oh, damn it! Are they lactose intolerant?
The limos are, yeah. Famously.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know if I have the strength to yell about this movie as long as I need to yell about this movie, but I did not like it.
This movie has over 10 minutes of voiceover exposition, which is insane.
Paige, in the first 90 seconds, 2 main characters have 2 different voiceovers. And you're like, wait,
yes.
Who's the
What?
main character of this?
The movie doesn't know, by the way.
It doesn't.
It has no idea. But then there's also so much wasted screen time in this movie where it's just like they shoot Woody Harrelson anxiety-ridden walking through a casino for like 5 whole minutes.
Yeah.
That doesn't add to the story at all.
No, it doesn't.
If you cut all of just the Woody Harrelson looking anxious and walking through rooms in this movie, you'd get it down to 90 minutes.
I wish they had, man.
Crazy.
I paused it once.
Me too. This is 2 hours for no reason.
I paused it at the end of the Indecent Transaction.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it over? And we had 50 minutes left. I was like, oh no, we're going to get a lot about Woody Harrelson's feelings for the rest of this movie.
And his feelings are not the ones I want. To be honest, the most interesting interactions are the ones for me between Demi Moore and Robert Redford, where she's not like completely sold. He's not the love of her life. But when she's kind of asking him, like, why me? Like, why are you pursuing me? Why are you doing this? And he talks about like losing someone in his past and regretting it ever since and not wanting, like, those are the most interesting conversations in the movie. And then the movie's just like, what a gold digging bitch, right? And you're like, no.
She literally got broken up with by her husband, who isn't man enough to divorce her after leaving her.
Right.
So she has to send papers to him. And then she dates the billionaire suitor that looks like Robert Redford.
Right.
Who is like pursuing her. I don't think she does anything wrong in this movie.
No. I'm honestly mad she ends up with Woody Harrelson.
I'm livid that a hippo walks away from this movie with $1 million, honestly.
I bet they stiffed those hippo people. Or Robert Redford paid for it, probably.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Parting gift to her, who knows?
I hated this movie. I hated it. I don't think I've disliked the movie this much ever.
Ever? This is like your more than Pretty Woman?
Pretty Woman slaps compared to this. At least everyone in that transaction's being honest.
That's fair. That is fair.
But it's also because Robert Redford has a specific worldview that I do think billionaires have that's real gross, and I hate it.
Sure.
And he's just being that guy, and I hate him.
Yeah. It's a great performance.
Yeah, he's good. He's a great actor. I do love Robert Redford. Like, he is amazing in everything. And even at the end of this movie, when you're like, this guy shouldn't exist as a concept, but God damn it, I get why he's motivated to have her break up with him.
Yeah. Again, his performance is great.
Yeah.
Her performance is great.
I think Woody Harrelson does a great job of being a whiny little bitch, too.
Being a whiny little bitch.
Yeah, he's just a whiny little bitch. That's not his fault. He's written that way, and he nails it. I'll tell you what, that guy from Cheers, he might be famous one day.
Who knows?
Maybe we should just go through this movie scene by scene, Paige.
Let's do it. We open on blurry credits. That might be one of the first times that I've been like, are these blurry for a reason? I was wondering if my eyes were bad.
I don't think your eyes are bad, unless both of our eyes are bad, because they were blurry for me as well.
They might be. Who knows?
It was blurry in the way like, oh, they didn't have HD when this movie came out. It was like that kind of blurry. Yeah.
Yeah. We open on a dock covered in fog, and we get Woody Harrelson's basically monologue through voiceover where he says, losing Diana was like losing a part of me, the way we felt about it. And you just like rambling, and we're like, who's Diana?
Paige, what if it was Princess Di?
Oh my God. That would have made a great movie. But
Would have loved it.
we cut to Demi Moore on a bus, and she's like, they say if you love something, set it free. And I'm just like, what is happening?
I literally wrote in my notes, barf, after that line.
Barf. But then they're like, I knew I was his from the beginning. We met in high school, and then oh my God, the shot.
He was a senior and I was a freshman, and they show her in the backseat of his car with what's supposed to be braces,
Yeah.
but she just looks like this era's best SoundCloud rapper. Like, it's not like
She looks like Little John.
yeah, she doesn't have braces. She has silver teeth.
Yeah, she's got grills. But my favorite is Woody Harrelson looking full on mid-30s with a weird wig on, being like, high school. And you're like, no.
Hey, fellow kids.
Hey, fellow kids. Definitely not a narc. But they carved their names on the dock. They got married at 19. Yikes.
Against their parents' wishes. Like, their parents were like, no, and they still did it. And honestly, like, this part of the movie where like they're building up their relationship, aside from like and the 90s had a shitload of this kind of stuff in movies, but like we see them fight and then it turns into them having sex, and it's supposed
While
to make
his
me want
underwear
them to be
burns on the
together, and it
stove.
doesn't, because like they have a toxic relationship.
Yes.
But yeah, like his underwear does catch on fire while they're having sex.
Well, and we'll get to that in just a second.
Yeah,
Hold
yeah.
that thought about the burning panties.
Mantis, Paige. Mantis.
Mantis.
Yeah.
All of this is voiceover exposition.
Yeah.
That is interminable. People don't do this in movies today because we've learned better.
Yeah.
Because you can only stand so much voiceover exposition before your brain starts to bleed out of your eyeballs. And usually it's 3 minutes or less. This voiceover exposition goes on for 10 whole straight ass minutes.
Yeah.
10 whole minutes of runtime. And it's basically like them, and it's like, he became an architect. I was like, we have an architect.
I know,
Like,
but this is the only broke architect I've ever seen in a movie.
mark off your romancing the pod bingo.
Yeah.
We have an architect. But he seems to just be architecting for the love of the game, like not working for a firm, not building anything.
Paige, he's going to build eccentric houses that are amazing. But like, listen, the designs are Frank Lloyd wrong. Like, they just aren't going to work.
I was going to say, I was like, he's Frank Lloyd Wright, and everyone needs to go listen to Andrea Gazzetta's episode of Podvant Garde on Frank Lloyd Wright about what a dick that guy was. So, like, not surprising that Woody Harrelson turns out to be a dick in this movie, but he's literally just drawing a bunch of sketches with, like, no rulers, just, like, vibes, and he's like, I am architect. He seems to just be not working while Demi Moore is out, like, being a realtor.
Yes.
Working her ass off.
So it seems like he may have had a job, but the quote recession like made it so he lost his job. But we don't ever see him as at an established job.
Never. And the recession comes after they buy the land.
It does. You're right.
Yeah. And so, like, the fight they get into where we burn his underwear is because he put muddy baseball cleats on the fucking table. Who the fuck puts shoes on a table? Were you raised in a barn?
I don't put shoes on a table that I haven't been like in mud about. You know what I'm saying?
I don't put any shoes on tables ever. That's not a place for shoes.
He does it towards the end of the movie too when he's living alone. It's one of the things where he's like, "Oh, I miss my wife because
I miss my wife.
shoes are on the table." Like what are you, a child? Grow up, Woody Harrelson.
Todd, I've never met another adult in my entire life that puts shoes on a table. That's crazy.
Guys, Spotify comments, just like drop, if you put your shoes on the table, tell us.
That's nuts.
It's
now,
crazy.
it's one thing if it's like ballet shoes and you're like wearing them in or something, working on shoes, I get. But I mean, these are just shoes he was wearing, took off, and then picked them up and put them on the table. What kind of self-respecting asshole doesn't just kick their shoes off into the middle of the room like I do? Like, don't the table?
I would bet if you had muddy cleats from playing baseball, you would leave those bitches outside.
Yeah, because I have a porch. But like, even if you don't have a porch, muddy shoes outside, or in a mud room if you are privileged enough to have a room for muds.
Paige, if I learned anything from my friend Christian, it was muddy shoes outside, bloody shoes inside. By the way,
Ooh.
it's Christian Louboutin.
Yeah. Yes. No, I thought about that and I was just thinking, my brain went a little smooth just thinking of rows of those red bottoms. But yeah, shoes on a table, like it takes an action to put them there. I don't understand.
It's more work.
It is more work. It's nuts.
I do think her reaction to it is a little bit much because she like throws shit at him and pulls a knife. Like, I don't know. It does seem like a bit of an overreaction.
I mean, pulling the knife was a bit much.
Yeah. Pulling a knife is a bit much. Yeah.
Pulling a knife is a little bit much. And then throwing the clothes around to the point that she realizes and notices that the underwear lands on the stove and is going to catch fire. And then as they're having sex on the floor of their kitchen, she's like, there's a fire starting up there. We should probably do something about it. And they're like, nope. Not until we come. Like, what?
Yeah, that is what happens. We cut away from the sex scene, but they definitely continue after she warns them about the fire hazard.
Right. And then from there, we learn that, like, they're too poor to go on real dates because she seems to be the only one working. And realtor is a commission job. So
yeah, 100% commission. So, like, if
feast
she's
and
not
famine.
making sales, she's not making money. Yeah.
Yep. And so instead of dates, he takes her around and points out architecture that he likes. Now, granted, they are in Los Angeles. There's a bunch of cool mid-century architecture, which is clearly his bag.
Yeah.
But, like, after a while, I'd be like, shut the fuck up and flip a burger so you can take me out to dinner sometime. Like, what the fuck? Like, quit sitting around the house and drawing with your shoes on the table, motherfucker.
Paige, he gets a job teaching that he's overqualified for, they say. And, like, at any point, he could have done that.
He could have done that.
At any point, he could have done that.
At any
But
point.
nah, he's just going to let his hot wife, who could be making $1 million a night on the market, apparently, sell houses and just fund his dream.
Oh my God.
There's nothing about Woody Harrelson's character that I like.
Honestly, no. Because then she's like, so we bought land. It was a steal so that he could build his house. And he gets like halfway through building the house. And then they're like, we can't make the payments on the land.
That's when the recession hits, right? And she no longer is able to sell houses, which like that makes sense. Recessions are hard on real estate agents. So yeah.
Yeah. But again, architecture happens for both residential and businesses. Like, he could have been teaching architecture.
Yes, he could have got that job at any point.
Oh.
Yeah. They still teach architecture during recessions.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. So they are going to lose the land and they don't have a ton of money. So he borrows $5,000 from his dad, but they need $50,000. And he's like, I've got an idea. Let's go win the money in Las Vegas. And this is the point at which Demi Moore should have divorced this man.
Yes, 100%. She's like, why don't you go ahead and give me half of that $5,000 and I want a divorce.
Yeah. Let's split our assets. You can take $2,500 and Godspeed.
Yeah.
Hope it works for you. But no.
But honestly, Paige, this part of the movie was the most stressful for me because it's literally the dumbest plan.
It's the dumbest plan. And they do the first night and like they win some stuff on slots. They win some stuff on craps tables.
Yeah, they're up $25,000. They're up to $25,000. So a net profit of $20,000, right?
Right.
And then they immediately the next day play a different game that is way harder to win at.
Yes.
Like, why not stick to what was working, you moron?
I mean, yeah, because craps you can kind of like play progressively over time. If Mikey was here, he'd be telling us the math and my eyes would have fully glazed over.
Same. He did teach us how to play when we were in Kansas City, and
he taught you.
Yeah, and he got mad at me because it was all luck, but I did better than him that night, and he was like, "You've never played craps before. This is bullshit." And I was like, "I know. I don't know what I'm doing."
I think at one point he tried to explain the math of craps to me, and I just slowly walked away towards the glowing slot machines.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and then promptly lost all the money.
Yeah, probably lost all the money, but I had a good time.
I do remember him yelling that it's the only game in a casino where like the person who's playing has almost as much chance to win as the house.
Yeah.
He yelled it for like an hour.
Great. For me, it's more that like it's all math. There's no shiny lights. And like it's math that I don't understand. And there's nothing else happening in the game. And I'm like, this cannot hold Paige's ADHD concentration. She needs the blinky lights. And when she loses the money, she leaves. That's how gambling works for Paige.
Can I tell you how gambling normally goes for me? And this is just like, I'm so lucky that I'm not like I don't really like it. Like, it's not for me, dog. And so,
Sure.
like, I'm not like someone who would get sucked in and lose my house. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just not
never.
for me. But whenever I'm in Vegas, like last time I was in Vegas, when my boss and I at the time went out and we were like, let's just take out $200 and we'll see how long it takes us or whatever.
Yeah.
I lost my money in like an hour and a half. I was out. I was done.
Yeah.
And he was like, he probably had $80 left. And he was like, I'll just go all in on this. He hit.
Yep.
And then he was like, we got up and left. And then he sat down at another table and he's like, well, let me just go all in on this.
No.
And he won again.
No
And then
way.
he did it 3 times.
Oh my
And then
God.
the third time I would not let him sit down anywhere else again because he walked out with like $750.
Right.
And I was like, Wayne, stop right now. We got to
Stop
go
it.
back to
Just
the
take
hotel.
it.
I got to FaceTime my wife.
Yeah.
We'll talk tomorrow.
My dad and I go to Vegas. My mom and my sister hate gambling. My husband doesn't like to gamble.
Yeah.
I don't know if my brother-in-law does or not. My dad and I, for $200, can have 3 or 4 hours of fun
Yeah.
on penny slots.
That's kind of what it is. It's just like fun.
yeah. It's just us laughing.
I don't get like, oh my God, I'm going to go up so much. Like, I don't
No.
I don't have that addictive thing about it, you know?
My dad and I have this thinking of like, this is the cost of us having fun for a couple hours.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
If we walk away with more money, like if we end up, we walk away and then we buy something stupid. And that's how I got my first piece of mid-century brass wall art. And so like,
Honestly, that's how I ended up paying Woody Harrelson to have sex with me.
right, there you go. And so like for a bargain on Cameo. But I would never go into a casino to be like, this is how I'm going to make the money to no.
No, sir.
That's crazy. And while he's like at the craps table winning money, she's wandering around the shop. She steals a bunch of chocolates because they don't like have any money.
I did think that was fun.
That was really fun. They don't have money, so she's just kind of like wandering around killing time. And she pulls this dress off the rack and is like trying to see what it would look like on her. And Robert Redford is like watching her from the VIP lounge. And he's like, hey, that dress looks good on you. You should buy it. And she's like, no, thank you.
Well, she literally says, I can't afford it. And he goes, well, let me buy it for you. And she's like, I'm not for sale.
I'm not for sale. And this is the thing of like when Woody Harrelson is getting mad at her through the rest of the movie. And I'm like, literally at every turn until it became a question of whether or not she could get you the money you needed for your stupid house project. She turns this man down.
Yes.
Over and over and over and over and over again. And makes it very clear that like, I'm not for sale. I don't like you like that. I am married. I'm not even going to take this gift from you. Nothing. I understand that sometimes gifts have strings attached and I am not taking them from you. Right?
100%. Yes.
Which is why it's so crazy later in the movie when they're like, see, she was just a gold digger the whole time. And you're like, what the fuck?
I know. You're like, hey, movie, do you know what movie you are? Like, I don't think you understand you.
Right?
Which is honestly probably the way every therapist has looked at me. So I get it. But it is what it is.
Todd, if you were a movie, what movie would you be?
God, I really wish I could say like one of the early Mission Impossibles, but I'm going to go ahead and say it's definitely Shrek.
Oh, that's a good pick. I think I'm going to go with Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar.
Fair. Yeah, I like that.
Barb and Star. Anyway, they win. They're up 20 grand. So they have 25 grand, which honestly is half of what they owe the bank.
Yeah.
If they just left and brought that 25 grand to the bank, they would actually probably be able to get the extension to then get the other half somehow.
It would buy them a few months for sure.
It would buy them a few months for sure.
Yeah.
But they don't. He's like, we'll gamble for 2 hours tomorrow. Dumb.
Very dumb. They end up
Very
at
dumb.
$4,100. And they were like, we said we wouldn't go below 5K. And they're like at a restaurant. They're like eating.
Right.
And I love we get a waitress like watching them have this conversation. And when they're like, let's flip this coin, heads will go back and gamble what we've got. You know, we'll go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Tails will walk away with what we got. And before they even flip it, you see the reaction shot of the waitress like shaking her head like, these dummies.
Yeah.
Which I loved.
And they're like, best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, because the thing they flipped on said, no, go home.
Go home. They should have gone home.
Yeah.
But they go and they put everything they have basically on the roulette table, which like of all of you could have gone back to craps, man. Roulette is basically yes or no. It's 50-50, right?
It's less than 50-50 because it's like it's red and blue, but there's also 2 green spots, so it's less than
Red
50-50.
and black, yeah.
Sorry, red and black, and it's less than you got 2 green slots, so it's less than 50-50. That's why I think craps is like statistically a better chance to win. I don't know.
Yeah.
I heard Mikey yelling at me a lot one night, but
Yeah, who knows?
I know roulette is not a great chance.
I mean, my favorite Mikey casino story is the next year when none of us went with him, and we were like, yeah, I'm kind of tired. I'm going to work on the live show. I'm going to do whatever. And he went to the casino, and then we had to go like pick him back up or find him. He had to like come meet us. And we were like, how much money did you lose? And he was just like, I don't want to talk about it.
He would not tell us. Also,
He
Paige,
would not tell us.
my favorite part of that story is he walked to the casino.
Yes, yeah, from the Airbnb. He walked. It's not far. Like
It's over a mile.
was it over a mile?
Just over a mile.
Yeah, it's like just over a mile. But yeah, and then came to meet us at Under the Covers, and had lost a ton of money, and then had to stand around while I explained this book I was reading at the time called Pen Pal.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Anyway, they lose it all because they picked the wrong color because it's roulette. And now they're like, what are we going to do? I guess we got to go home, which now they have like no money. They basically gambled their life savings away because he's not working. And I'm guessing she hasn't sold a house because of the recession, whatever.
Yeah.
But they walk by and they see Robert Redford playing at a table and Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton looking rough.
I don't know, Paige. Did you not see the one earring?
I did. That's why I designated it as rough.
Yeah.
But that man was married to Angelina Jolie for a while, so he got something. I don't know.
I think he's got real, you're definitely mad at your dad. Let's talk energy.
Oh, that's real. That's very real. But everyone's like, that's John Gage. He's a billionaire. He's down over $1 million, but like he's still playing. Each one of those chips is 10 grand. And so he literally in one swoop gambles away twice what they needed to basically save their property or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally like, so he wins the first hand they walk up on, and then he like stands up and is like, hey guy, can I borrow your wife? She's like my good luck charm or whatever.
Right.
But like, he just recognizes her. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He just wants her to kiss his dice.
That happens later. But yeah, that does happen.
Yeah.
And then she does go, because Woody Harrelson's like, yeah, sure, guy I've never met who's treating my wife like a cow.
Yeah.
Sure, let's do this. So she goes and sits down. He's like charming, but a little like gross a little bit.
To be honest, I think Woody Harrelson thought that she was going to go down there and be his air quotes good luck charm, and he was going to tip her 1 or 2 of those gold chips.
I thought that too, but he doesn't, because, you know.
But he doesn't. Billionaire.
Yeah, exactly. He's a terrible dude too.
He doesn't pay the working class.
Exactly. He only exploits people, Paige. That's how he became a billionaire. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, he loses $100,000 on the hand she's sitting there with him.
Right.
And he's like, do you like cards? And she's like, not really. And he goes, I wish you had told me that.
Yeah.
Which I did think was funny. And Robert Redford is so charming in this movie, and I hate him for it because I just want to hate this character so much. But then he pulls out $1 million from the casino bank and goes to play craps.
Yeah. And puts all that entire $1 million on one roll. And thankfully she rolls a fucking 7. So that means he doubles his money.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, I'm going to quit now. Which I'm sure the casino only lets him do because they're like, he'll give it back to us. Don't worry about it.
For sure. He's probably lost more than that morning.
Right. But he basically is like, hey, thank you both. You both made me $1 million. Let me get you a room at the casino. Anything you want, I'll sign for it. And there's some shops in the lobby. Check them out. Like, have you seen them? Basically, like hinting to Demi Moore, like, I remember you.
I mean, honestly, I think that was him saying, go get the dress. Like, I'll pay for it. You made me a ton of money just now. But I like that she doesn't. He has to buy it and deliver it to her, which... gross.
Should have been a huge red flag for Woody Harrelson.
It was a big red present. Like, yes.
Yeah.
It was both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, hang on. If you put $1 million down and you roll a 7, I'm pretty sure you get $4 million back.
I have no idea. I did not listen to the math talk. I was distracted by the lights.
Either way, he made a shitload of money. There's no way they're going to be able to spend what she made him in a weekend.
Right.
And I think she at least earned $1 million right there. If he walks away with $2 million in profit and gives her $1 million, he's had a good day, you know?
Right.
Anyway.
But William Shackelford, who is John Gage's like driver, butler, fixer.
He's like valet. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what he is. He's, yeah.
Never had a valet. Most likely kill you in the morning. But he arrives at the suite and is like, hey, here's a dress. Will you come to the reception in John Gage's suite at 9? And they're like, okay, sure. And she's like, this dress is $5,000. I saw it downstairs. And they're like, all right. And Woody Harrelson is just like, that's so nice of him to get you a dress. I'm glad he got it for you in black because you love black. And I'm like, buddy.
Yeah. I think you start to realize in this scene how dumb Woody Harrelson's character is. And then he just delivers on the promise they set up in this scene the whole rest of the movie.
Yeah.
He's just a big old dummy. Although I honestly, like, when he said Gage wants you to come to a party in his suite at 9 o'clock, I literally thought they would show up. She'd be wearing the dress. He'd be wearing whatever. And it would just be like Robert Redford in a robe, like, oh, you came too, Woody Harrelson? But like,
do you want to watch?
Yeah. But there were like 50 people at that reception.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a party.
Yeah.
It was
legit,
a party.
It was a legit party.
Now, let me ask you this, because I think if some famous dude randomly bought me a dress, Jake would have suspicions.
Yeah.
If someone did this for Natalie, you would have questions, yes?
Yes, 100%.
You might still take the dress, but be like, if that guy tried to split the movie, we're leaving, right? Like,
Paige, you know what I would have done? I'd have shown up in the dress.
yes.
Power move. She's wearing jeans and a t-shirt and a hoodie, and I'm wearing like the sexiest black dress.
God, that dress is incredible. I would love that dress.
Paige, on me, it don't look right. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't know that it would look right on me. I don't think I have the height for that dress, but
Demi
like,
does.
boy, is it a nice dress.
Yeah.
Anyway, they go. It's a party. There's like a pool up there. It's like he has his own like floor almost, it seems.
Yeah.
He does tell them that Shackelford killed somebody once, which...
I mean, he's old enough to have been in one of the many wars that we've been in, so
That's
like, I
true.
can see that.
I could see that. But they basically hang out. He spends the whole party with them until every other guest has kind of slowly trickled away and they're playing pool. And he's just like, money could buy anything. And she's like, not people, because she, I think, already knows where this is going.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's your price, basically? And she's like, I don't have one. And Woody Harrelson hesitates, but is like, no, of course not.
He does back up his wife, though, in the scene.
He does.
I think in the moment he does what he should, although there is some hesitation.
Yeah.
It's only later at night when he cracks.
Well, and so they leave.
Yeah.
And he basically is like, you're giving that reflex answer out of emotion, but think about it. Think of what $1 million could do for you. One night would come and go, but you'd have a lifetime of security for the cost of one night. So consider it. And they're like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. But then we cut to them just tossing and turning in bed for 3 whole minutes.
Yeah.
Not talking.
Nope.
Just tossing and turning 3 whole minutes.
Yeah.
So they eventually start to talk about it. She's like, I think you want me to do it because you want the money. And he's like, no, of course. I don't want you to do it, but we could talk about it. And she's like, but you'd let me do it. Like, you would let this happen. And he's like, no. He's like, do you want to do it? And she's like, no, but I would do it to get the money for you.
Yeah.
Like, I would do it for us. Like, this one night will mean nothing to me if I can set us up for the rest of our lives. And he's just like, okay.
Yeah. He is just like, okay, then do it. Because I want $1 million hairs. And then he gets mad about it.
I
mean, not yet.
Not yet. But like, I think that's a fair discussion because again, it's one night versus like, now granted, $1 million don't go as far today.
Paige,
plus the taxes.
$1 million? I mean, even if he covered the taxes and it was like just a stone cold $1 million, like,
right.
You're not going to be able to live comfortably the rest of your life on that.
No, of course not.
Not even at the time.
It
would solve their housing problems, which I do think in his mind is going to launch him into like the Frank Lloyd Wright sphere,
Sure. I mean, here's what I could do for $1 million today. I could pay off my house completely, free and clear.
Yeah.
I could pay my property taxes for the year, maybe even stash some money to pay them in future years so I have 0 mortgage payments. I could pay all my utilities, right, for a couple years. I could buy Jake and I new cars.
Yeah.
That's what $1 million would do. That means for the next, let's call it 3 to 5 years, we have a much easier life. It's not perfect. We'd still have to work somehow to do something, but we wouldn't have the burden of having to make our mortgage payments or whatever. So we could work something part-time or something a lot smaller, as opposed to the jobs that we have now, where we work at him 2 jobs and me somewhere in the neighborhood of 4.
Paige, you just don't have the foresight to like go to the crypto coin market and buy the dip, Paige.
I know I cannot.
Buy the
I
dip.
can't. That's worse than the slot machines.
It is. It's worse. I would honestly throw it in like a CD and get 6% interest and just live on the $60K a year. Not live on it, but like let that subsidize my life.
Yeah, let that pay your mortgage and stuff. That's actually not a bad idea either. In my thinking, for me, it would be like, this would free me up to write whatever I wanted for 3 years before having to go back to a job.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Because I feel like for where I am at right now, career-wise, if I had 3 years free and clear that I could just like maybe work something small or just do the podcast or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm writing a million things and I'm selling a couple of them, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, once you start selling stuff, that is your job, right?
Yeah.
So like, that's how I'd think of it. But you're right. You could have put that money in interest and just lived off the interest. And then that money just is your backup plan. It's your whatever. That's worth one night with Robert Redford for me.
Yeah, it literally is your, well, at least I know I'm going to have $60K a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which for a lot of people is life-changing. Like that would be life-changing for me, honestly. Like,
I mean, yeah, because think about if you kept your existing job,
yeah,
changed nothing.
Exactly. That's what I would do.
And then got an additional $60K a year.
Nobody would know I had sex with Robert Redford.
I would tell everyone I had sex with Robert Redford.
I'd wait till he dies out of respect, you know?
He did die. He died this year. R.I.P.
Did he really?
That's why they're moving Sundance. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why they're moving Sundance, but he did pass away this year.
Well, shit, Rob.
I know. It's a bummer.
That the stings. Anyway.
Can I tell you, he looked damn good up to this year. like they showed recent pictures of him and I was like, that man aged great.
He did.
Anyway, they decide they're going to do it. They go in the next day and they call their lawyer and the lawyer is like, I would have gotten you $2 million. Why didn't you call me?
I love the lawyer scene so much because he's in with like a potential client that is considering taking him on. And he like takes the call from Woody Harrelson. He's like, wait, you negotiated a deal with a billionaire to have sex with your wife for $1 million? Why didn't you call me? I could have definitely got 2. And they get up and start leaving. And he's like, no. This will just take a second. And they're like, no, we've decided you're definitely our lawyer. I love that scene. I thought that was so funny.
I love it so much. They are a writing team.
Oh, you mean like in real life?
I don't know in real life,
Oh,
but
okay.
within the scene, they're a writing team they have fired their reps and are using a lawyer as a rep, which most people don't know that you can do, but you can do.
And should do, maybe.
And should do in many cases, because your lawyer only takes 5% and they will give you a better deal. And so that's what they're trying to do, is get a better deal for their next project, but then only have to pay 5%. And so when they hear that he's like, I would have gotten you 2, they're like, damn straight you would have. And they leave.
I loved that.
I loved it. It was very prescient.
Right?
Right. Anyway, so he flies to Vegas to sign off on this.
Well, he gets 5% of $1 million,
Yeah.
which is why I was like, when Woody Harrelson spends $1 million on a hippo at the end of this movie, I'm like, bro, Oliver Platt took $50K.
Right.
Like,
right.
Now you're in the whole $100K because you initially needed $50K and then you spent $50K over what you had on a hippo?
Right.
Anyway, Woody Harrelson's a moron in this movie.
Oh my God. It's crazy. And so they leave Demi Moore there and they're like, you guys go, please get out. And he and Oliver Platt go to dinner and Oliver Platt's basically just like, I would have never done that. It's great that you did. Good business decision, but I would have gotten you too. And he just like can't stop talking about it.
Yeah.
And Woody Harrelson like blows a head vein.
Yeah.
And runs out of what I assume is the Rainforest Cafe. Or something like it.
It looked like a a less culturally sensitive rainforest cafe.
It had the animatronics of Disney's Tiki Room.
Yeah.
But the like lights and fountains of a rainforest cafe.
Yes, yeah. The kind of fountains that are like so close to food that definitely everyone's getting sick. It was like that kind of environment.
Sure, absolutely.
I don't want unfiltered water being sprayed around my burger. Thank you so much.
I've never thought about that, and now I won't be able to not think about it. So thank you.
It's gross.
I don't usually sit that close to fountains, so I don't think this is a daily risk in my life, but I'll remember it every time I go to a theme restaurant.
Please do. Salmonella will thank you.
Next time I'm in Denver at Casa Bonita, I will remember this.
What fountain do children piss in? Can you keep me away from that one?
Right. We checked the pH. It's all P and no H.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so he runs up to the suite, but they're gone. They've already taken a helicopter away, and he's just like, no! And you're like, buddy.
Paige, when it's revealed that he like takes her in a helicopter, I was like, oh, he's trafficking Demi Moore across state lines. And then when they show it land on a boat, I was like, oh, he's murdering Demi Moore.
Thank you. This was actually something I have been thinking about. I think that's the bigger risk of anything in this movie is he has enough money to murder her and cover it up because she is no one. And if she just goes missing, and he'll just have his other guy kill Woody Harrelson, and everyone will be like, they disappeared. They were trying to skip out on their loan. Like, no one would question it
at all.
And no one would know that they had been involved with him because everything at the hotel was in his name.
Yeah. It's literally the perfect plan.
It's the perfect crime.
Yeah.
Honestly, okay, I need somebody to rewrite this movie, but then when they get to the boat, smash cut to credits and it's fresh, and now she's trying to escape the boat and he's trying to kill her on the boat.
Pretty much.
This is Natalie Wood.
I was 1,000% just to be like, you gotta cast Natalie Wood in that.
Well, I mean, we can't because unfortunately.
Well, in all fairness, you can't cast Robert Redford anymore either, so.
No, but just Christopher Walken being like, guys, I'm here on the boat.
Robert Wagner. Wow, was that an owl? I'm so sorry. I can't do a Christopher Walken.
How'd this owl get on the boat?
I do love that, like, whenever there's like an unexplained murder, it has to be an owl, like just because of the staircase.
It has to be an owl.
Love it.
Or ghosts. I don't like ghosts.
They are spooky and they have spooky behavior.
I don't tolerate spooky behaviors. Anyway, she gets to the yacht, which I thought for sure was there is a large lake outside of Vegas. I thought that's maybe where it was.
No, they're not going to go to Lake Tahoe or whatever, Paige. Not in a yacht like that. It would cost more to bring that yacht to Lake Tahoe than it would.
I was thinking about this where I was like, don't they drive the yacht? And then they're like, oh, we flew to Santa Barbara. And I was like, in a helicopter?
Yeah.
Not that close.
I mean, it would take an hour or two, right? Like,
it would take a few hours.
Helicopters are not nearly as fast as planes.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Because like a plane from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, which by the way, Los Angeles is 3 hours south of Santa Barbara, or like 2 hours south of Santa Barbara, give or take.
Sure.
So that means it's even further. So if you flew Santa Barbara to Vegas, that's probably an hour and a half on a commercial airplane, which means on a helicopter, that's like 6 hours, maybe more.
They spent half of that night in a helicopter.
Unless they flew their helicopter to a landing strip, flew a plane to Santa Barbara, and then a plane. But that's just so much travel.
It was the 90s. There probably was a landing strip.
Anyway, apparently they're in Santa Barbara.
I just looked it up. It's an hour and 10 flight from LA to Vegas. Or sorry, from Vegas to Santa Barbara.
Via helicopter?
That's by plane. No, that's by plane.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say by plane. Yeah, it's like an hour and 10 minutes. Yeah. But you got to get to the airport. You got to check a bag.
Well, not if you're a billionaire, Paige. But I mean, it's a helicopter. It's not. It would probably take 5 hours. I don't know, but a while.
Yeah. Anyway, he's gotten her a dress and things for dinner. She goes up and there's like somebody playing piano and there's like champagne or whatever. Meanwhile, Woody Harrelson is just like meat sweating his way through the casino floor, just like, what do I do? My wife, she might be fucking someone. He's just losing his mind. There is a really cool shot of him walking through the horse racing like section
Yeah.
that is actually just visually cool, but it lasts way too fucking long.
Yeah.
And it's just like bonkers. And he wanders around solidly like 5 to 8 minutes, which doesn't sound like a long time. But when we're thinking about it in the context of screen time, is wild. That's so long on screen.
Especially because his job, in order for them to get $1 million, is to do nothing.
Yeah.
And we spend more time with Woody Harrelson than we do with Demi Moore and Robert Redford this night.
Yeah. And he still has the account for the room at the hotel, which means, hey, buddy, go fucking gamble. Go order the insane Guy Fieri, like, birria pizza, Mexican pizza quesadilla situation that will make you fart for a year. Like, do whatever you want to do. It's Las Vegas. There's so many things. You could go to, well, I don't think there is a Coca-Cola World there anymore, but like, go do something. I don't know. Go to FLM Chocolates and pop off. I don't know. But like, instead of just running around the casino being like, no, another penis may have touched my wife. It's crazy.
I mean, that is his vibe.
He could have called the cops and been like, I think he's trying to murder my wife. He doesn't do that either.
No, he doesn't really care about his wife that much. He cares about his, quote, honor. It's gross.
Gross. But we cut back to the yacht where she basically kind of gets like summoned to Robert Redford. And he's like, I just want to show you something. He turns the lights out on the yacht so they could look at the stars. He's making an effort, Todd, even though he is, yes, I know he's a villain. I get it.
Gross. I hate him because he is like, hey, nothing's going to happen tonight that you don't want to happen. And then he kisses her without her consent.
Kiss her without
and then
her
he's
consent.
like, what do you say? Heads we do it, tails we don't. And then he uses a double-sided coin that's both heads.
It's both heads.
And also he took her to a goddamn, like, because of the implication alone, she cannot say no.
Right. Now, she, per her character's own admission later, she has a good time. But because we don't see it and we don't hear about it,
I do think we got robbed of learning how this dude is good at sex. Because
honestly, same.
Look at any billionaire on like the Forbes top list and guess which one of those are good at sex. And the answer is none, probably.
I'm going to guess none. And they're also all bad at putting pillowcases on because they're just a sea of chinless slime bags.
As a chinless slime bag who doesn't have $1 billion, ow, that hurts.
You're welcome.
I'm the kind of guy who, like, this is a true story page, and I shouldn't tell you because it is not a good look for me. I got back home. Natalie was still upstairs editing. And I changed the sheets.
Good for you.
And she, when she realized I changed the sheets, was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, I had done something important. And so that should tell you how much of a slob I guess I really am all the time, that like my wife was like, oh my God, you changed the sheets?
I mean, here's what I often tell people about my wonderful saint of a husband is that I've never had to ask that man to wash a dish.
Oh, yeah.
He just does it.
Yeah, because you guys just like break them and throw them out.
Yeah, it's part of our sex ritual. No, but just because he just does it. He just does it.
Yeah.
With the way my ADHD shows up is getting buried in work and things and forgetting about a lot of those tasks.
Although I'll say this, I'm pretty good at dishes. Like that's one of the things that I do often remember to do and do.
Yeah. And so he will do the dishes. He will be like, hey, I'm about to do some laundry. Do you want to grab some things? I'll throw them in. Like, he's great about that. That honestly, yeah, that makes him better than most billionaires in my book.
Yeah.
Because a billionaire might hire somebody to do that. Fine, but like, would they make me laugh really hard because we kept making up dumb songs about Megabat versus the Fartpocalypse? No. So like, what really do you want your relationship to be about?
I don't know, but definitely Megabat versus Fartpocalypse. That's all I care about now.
Because I'm NDA'd for so much stuff, that's what I keep telling people that I'm pitching is Megabat versus the Fartpocalypse. I had a whole conversation with my parents about it.
Honestly, Sharknado pinned it, so like I probably can't talk about it because they're like considering it.
They have a contract out, and it's like Jason Statham wants to be Megabat.
Yeah,
but like, I don't know
he's
if we can
pinned to play
afford it.
Megabat. He's thinking about
pinned
it.
to play
Yeah,
Megabat.
he honestly loves the script, which is wild because there isn't one.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, I kept pitching different versions of Megabat and Megabat versus the Fartpocalypse, including one where Megabat was an Italian cardinal during the conclave and gets voted Megabat Pope to prevent the Fartpocalypse. Look, Megabat's reach is far and wide, and may the light of Megabat shine down upon you.
honestly, I'd go back to church.
If it was Megabat. Now it's just a story about a man finding his faith via Megabat.
And Fartpocalypse, honestly.
And Fartpocalypse, which is the time when Mikey finally farts, is the Fartpocalypse. I should also mention that in some pitches, Megabat carries 2 katanas in each hand, but it's tough to fight with because his wingspan's so wide.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Coming soon to Sci-Fi Channel, Megabat versus Fartpocalypse. Anyway, my mom's like, why is the bat so big? I was like, duh, it's Megabat.
Dean Cain's like, hey, I'm here to read for Megabat. No, it's Megabat. Get out. Get out,
Get the
Dean
fuck
Cain.
out.
Get
Get
out.
the fuck out. I don't know if you know, Megabat woke as fuck. Megabat is progressive.
Yeah.
Megabat would never. Megabat voted for Bernie twice.
And he would have voted for Obama a third time.
A third time if he could have.
I love that line in that movie.
So good. Anyway, so it is implied that we fade to black. We don't see what happens that night. But then the next morning she comes back and Woody Harrelson is distraught. Like he has destroyed this hotel room and put the pillows everywhere.
He's distraught like he's afraid Robert Redford is going to tell Demi Moore that like cunnilingus exists. That's the kind of shitbag Woody Harrelson is.
I mean, I feel like he eats. I don't know this about him as a person. Who's to say?
I bet Woody Harrelson does, but like his character, I don't know.
No, poor dudes always eat. I'm sorry. That's a terrible thing to say. You got to make up for things somehow. Anyway, what a horror. Megabat would never.
Megabat would.
Megabat's an eater for sure. Yeah. Okay, the one that made my mom laugh really hard.
You talked to your mom about Megabat and Fartpocalypse?
Of course I did.
Of course you do.
And joked that I forget which celebrity he was having an affair with, but that they kept getting headaches from 69. And my mom was like, wait, but the bat's the one upside down.
I know. That's how good he is. That's how good Megabat is. Yeah.
That's how good Megabat is. Anyway, during the night, before we leave the yacht, Robert Redford does say, look, if you were mine, I would have never let this happen. Like, he didn't stop you, which is kind of gross from an ownership way.
It is real gross.
Yeah, but it is also manipulative in being like, I know I asked for this, but I would have never, if you were mine, I would never share you.
No, because you're going to get bored of her in 3 weeks and never talk to her again. Like, she should have hit him in the head with a paddle and pushed his body overboard.
Well, you got to wait till you get married first.
Fair. Yeah, okay.
Right? But he does seem like the kind of dude who, much like Massimo, would have just like shot Woody Harrelson's hands.
He would have paid his driver to do it, but yeah.
He would have paid his driver to do it. Anyway, so they get back to their regular life. They go to try and buy their land back or pay up their land, and they find out someone has bought it.
Like 2 days before.
Like 2 days before. The second they announced someone has bought it, I knew who it fucking was.
Yeah, of course.
I knew who it fucking was. So they're upset because it feels like they did all this for nothing, but they still have what?
$1 million.
999.
Yeah. $999,050 million. They've got enough money. They've got enough money to buy whatever they want.
Whatever they want. And she's just kind of trying to go on with her life where like he notices that she has matches from the boat and that freaks him out. But she's like, I grabbed a thing of matches, like whatever, like
Yeah, like eccentric douches named their boat.
Yes.
Sorry. And also, you told me to do this.
Right. She's like gardening and she's like, I don't want to talk about it. You said we didn't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
We're just going on with our lives. He's not involved in our lives. But then he goes through her bag and finds his number, which I'm not surprised that she has. I'm sure he would have given it to her.
Yeah.
She's not using it. Like, we see her and she's like calling her mom, but it's like his paranoia.
It is his paranoia, 100%.
Ruins everything.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, so you have his number? Like, are you going to see him? What the fuck? And she's just like, this is ruining us. I need to try and do something good with that money. So I'm going to find out who bought that land and see if I could buy it back from them.
Yeah.
Goes to find out. And of course it is John. And she realizes immediately that this is manipulation.
Yeah. She like goes and like confronts him in public. I love this. Yeah.
I did too. And she's like, why would you do that? They're like, this is terrible. I hate you for this. And he's like, you wish you hated me.
I hated this so. This is the second time I wrote barf in my notes when she was like, I hate you. And he goes, you don't hate me. You wish you hated me. And I was like, you incel cuck little bitch. Like, I fucking hated it so much.
Can I say that I do think that is partially true?
Sure.
As gross as it is to say.
It's gross. And this is also coming from the guy who was like, no, you can buy people. It's fine. Like, you can still buy people.
But I do think that there is a part of Demi Moore that did not have a terrible time, which she will admit.
Yeah.
And because she did not have a terrible time, and now that they have this money, which really eases up their life, that she maybe doesn't hate him that much. She's not interested in pursuing a romantic relationship with him necessarily, but she doesn't hate him. And like Woody Harrelson, that guy is enemy number one for Woody Harrelson. It's a very different vibe.
Yeah.
And so gross though I think that line is, I do think he is accurate in saying, you wished you hated me because that would make this easier.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, so she goes home and she picks up a bottle of wine and she comes in and first of all, Woody Harrelson's like, you look awful. Like, thanks, asshole. And she's like, I'll tell you where I was today. I just need to drink some wine first. Because she's upset, obviously.
Yeah, she's pissed.
And why they have her start doing the dishes in this scene, I don't fucking know. Because when she ends up sobbing, wearing gloves,
so much,
it looks so crazy.
Because she's wearing like the gloves your mom wore in the 90s to keep her hands from pruning while she did dishes.
Yes.
And it looks so funny. She looks like she was halfway putting on her superhero outfit and then broke down in tears.
Yes. It completely undercuts the scene.
It does.
It's awful.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
And she's acting the shit out of it. Like, she is bawling.
Yes.
And she's just wearing these like pseudo superhero gloves.
Superhero gloves. But so he has the bottle of wine. He's trying to open it. And she says, I went to go see John Gage today. And before he finds out why, before he hears anything that she says, he throws a bottle at her fucking head.
Yeah.
Which could kill somebody. Like if it had hit her.
Yeah.
Right?
Luckily, it just breaks near her face or whatever.
Right. And she's like, look, he bought our property. I was trying to get it back. What the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like, what happened? Like, did you fuck him? Like, what? And it's like, what do you want me to say? Because if I say he's awful, you won't believe me. If I say he's great, you'll be mad. I can't win by telling you anything.
Yeah.
It was just sex. I don't have any romantic attachment to him. It wasn't bad. Don't do this, right?
Yeah. And Woody Harrelson's like, well, I'm leaving and never talking to you again, but I'm going to be real sad when you divorce me for no reason.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And because he's like, I knew it, you were attracted to him, which, like, first of all, it's Robert Redford. Secondly, like, buddy, people are attracted to people all the time. She built a life with you.
Yeah.
She did this to help build a life with you. If you had said no, she would not have done this. Like, this was something that she was not going to do without your buy-in.
Yeah.
Holding her accountable in this way is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, he essentially is like, how dare you have sex with John Gage with my consent?
Right.
How dare you?
How dare you? I said yes, but I didn't mean yes. And it's like, oh my God, fuck you, right?
Yeah.
So he goes to Oliver Platt's house. She calls and is like, keep the money. I don't want it. I don't want any part of this. And I do love that Oliver Platt's like, well, if nobody wants it.
I know. Oliver Platt is the best part of this movie by far.
But we cut to, and it's implied that it's been weeks that he has been gone. And we get some of her voiceover where she's like, I got real good at staring at walls. Like I was bored and I was alone. And then who shows up to her work but John Gage?
Yeah.
Which like I get, and it's shitty that her boss, Rip Taylor, forces her to take John Gage house shopping, but nothing happens. Like she is actively rebuffing his advances and she doesn't have to because Woody Harrelson has fucking left at this point.
Yeah.
She'd be entirely within her rights to explore new options. She doesn't.
She honestly is like behaving towards Robert Redford like she hates him.
Yes. Well, and she's trying to, be professional. At one point, he tries to put his hand on her back. She moves out of the way. Like,
yeah.
And it's not until she finally gets to like one of the last houses where she's like, this is your house, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the one where she's like, it's $30 million. I guarantee it.
Yeah. And he's like, this is my house. I like it. Here's how I would imagine it. And she's like, it needs furniture. She basically is like, why are you doing this? Why did you track me down? Why all of this? And he's like, I lost a woman in my life before, and I think about her every day, and I don't want to do it again, and I need you. And she says, no, you collect things. And he's like, sometimes. And I feel like that's such a good conversation in this movie that is undercut by all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Because like that's her being like, I understand that even if I enter into any sort of relationship with you, temporary, long-term, regardless of what it is, I will be a part of your collection. This is not the kind of relationship I had. This is different.
No, because he doesn't treat anyone like an equal.
Right.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson moves into his own sort of place. He does put his shoes on the table, crazy. Demi Moore goes to teach citizenship, which this is the thing that blew my mind.
Okay.
Because she's his real estate agent.
Uh-huh.
He buys that house. The commission on that house?
I don't think he buys that house. I think he takes her to his house.
Oh, you think he already owned it?
Yeah, I think he already owns that house, which to me is shitty because
douchebag.
Yeah, like he shows up at her work under the guise of like, I want to buy a house in the area that's like in the $10 million range.
Right.
And so she is going to make commission on that, which would be a few $100,000.
Yes, that'd be huge.
And he isn't really interested in house shopping.
No, he just wants to spend time with her. He's just wasting her time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then she takes a second job teaching citizenship classes. He shows up there and kind of ruins the class to a degree because he draws all the focus. And he then is like, there's something I want to show you. And he brings her to that house, which again, I think you're right, is probably his house that he has now furnished and got dogs.
Yeah.
Because she's like, it needs furniture and dogs. And he's like, I didn't know what kind of dogs you liked, which poor doggies that she eventually leaves and like, who's watching those dogs? It's not, we can't.
A 100% Robert Redford gnomes those dogs when she breaks up with him.
You think he Christy gnomes them? You don't think he just takes them back to the rescue he got them from?
I don't.
Or just maintains them and the maids watch those dogs forever?
Honestly, that's best case scenario. Yeah.
That's best case scenario. But this is also where he reinforces like the 30 years ago, it was, some lady, and he does ask her to dance. She does agree to dance. Meanwhile, Woody Harrelson is crying in his apartment, just ripping up pictures of them together. And I'm like, buddy, like, you ruined this. Like,
and at any point, you could call her and be like, hey, I'm sorry I left. Can we talk?
Right.
When he's ripping up the photos, I kind of laughed because it doesn't make sense. Like, she didn't break up with you. You broke up with her.
You left.
Yeah.
Crazy. But she then starts at least casually seeing John Gage, where they, at some indeterminate future time, we don't know how long it's been, they're on the sidewalk in front of a club. He tracks them down and confronts them on the sidewalk, tries to punch him.
There's nothing more embarrassing for the Woody Harrelson character when he confronts them and is mad at John Galt, not John Galt, whatever this guy's name, John Gage or whatever.
John Gage.
And then whatever, I'll leave you alone. And then he starts to walk away and then turns around and tries to punch him. And he is drunk. He's playing it like he's drunk.
Right.
And so he whiffs, just super whiffs, like Todd in a boxing match whiffs and falls on his face. And then the most humiliating thing that can happen to that man happens. And the guy he just tried to punch helps lift him up, puts him in his car, and has his driver take him home.
Right.
Like, John Gage does objectively a kind thing for the alcoholic man who left his wife that is now dating John Gage, but like who tried to assault him earlier that evening.
Right.
It just makes John Gage look like a decent guy, and he's not. He's terrible. He should not exist as a concept.
Sure. He didn't have to, but I think he also knows that if he was objectively mean to Woody Harrelson, he'd lose Diana. I think that's the only reason he's nice to him.
I think he's smart enough to know. Yeah. Unlike Woody Harrelson, who's just a stone cold dumbass.
Right.
But yeah, I agree.
But then we find out that Woody Harrelson has taken a teaching job to teach architecture, and his architecture lecture is insane. It's so crazy because he basically starts with like, a bunch of these people who made these famous buildings died in obscurity, and you will too. But every brick wants to be a building. And you're like, what the fuck is his point?
Also, he says everyone who built something great is an asshole, and you have to deal with it, more or less, is the vibe.
Yes.
And you know what, Demi? You don't.
You don't. You really don't.
But I kind of like the every brick wants to be something speech, because it like, you kind of get why he loves architecture in a way.
Sure.
And Woody Harrelson's a good actor. Like, he does a good job. So you're like, oh, damn, he's making me wish I knew what architecture was. Let's go to Chicago. Let's check it out.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Here's my thing is like, I understand the concept of every brick wants to be something or be part of something big in a collaborative field. But he is also extolling the virtues of like individual architects and their genius. So I feel like those two concepts are incongruous, right? Where it's like every brick wants to be part of a huge building. Hey, you're going to have to start at the bottom, but eventually with the help of the people around you, you can build something great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think of, if you want to be like every brick wants to be a building, every screenwriter wants to work on a huge movie that gets famous, but that's hundreds of people making that happen, not just that one person.
Yeah, I think his point was like the designer of like the architect is the person who designs it, and then that design gets executed by a big team of people to create it.
Which would make more sense if he hadn't been like, this person did this and you don't even know their name. And I was like, what?
I mean, can you name another architect other than Frank Lloyd Wright? And I often get that guy's name confused with the guy who wrote Phantom. And those are the only two people that I know who have three names that we commonly say that have not murdered many people.
That is true.
Because normally that is reserved for murderers.
The three namers are almost always murderers.
Yes.
I know a handful of architects, but mostly from a certain period of a certain type, because I dig that kind of building. But like, you know, whatever. I don't expect most people to know architects or whatever.
Yeah.
And it is one of those things like making a movie where it's hundreds of people, which is where the brick analogy makes sense, but not where he's just like, genius flounders in obscurity. And you're like, buddy, what? What are we talking about?
It's kind of a mixed message.
Yeah.
But delivered well.
It's a little weird. Yeah. But then we cut to a zoo fundraiser hosted by Billy Connolly. That is not in this movie enough.
Well, yeah, Billy Connolly should be the majority of the movie. I love Billy Connolly so much.
Yeah. Jimmy, Jim. Yes. Big fan.
Literally one of the best, like, comedians ever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you haven't listened to some of his older albums, I highly recommend.
Yeah. He's what makes the Boondock Saints watchable.
And honestly, yeah, because I don't love the rest of Boondock Saints.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, no shit.
I find it overrated.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's auctioning off, you know, different animals that you basically like pledge support to the zoo to sponsor the animal. And the first one up is the hippo. And we had, when Woody Harrelson was ripping up the pictures, some of them had hippos, and it was like flashing back to them feeding hippos. And so she, sitting next to John Gage, is like, oh, a hippo. I would love to have a hippo. And so he's bidding on it. And then Woody Harrelson comes in and is like, $1 million.
He does walk in with some Dr. Evil energy. Yeah. In a white suit, And it's just like $1 million for the hippo.
$1 million. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And then the rain starts, so everyone runs away. But he goes and sits by Demi Moore and signs the divorce papers. Now, she doesn't sign them.
No, she does not. Also, Robert Redford like gives them privacy because he is like in this moment a classy dude.
Yeah.
And this is the scene where he's watching them and he is really like acting his ass off, even though he has no lines and it's kind of in the background of the scene. And you see him seeing like him destroy Woody Harrelson and Demi Moore's relationship like his got destroyed 30 years ago. And so like the next scene lands because of his performance in this scene.
Right. So we then cut to Woody Harrelson is off on his own. He has run off with his $1 million hippo, and Robert Redford is in the back of the limo with Demi Moore, and he basically is kind of looking at her and she is sad. Like she is genuinely sad to be finalizing this divorce. Again, she hasn't signed it yet.
Yeah.
And he says to the driver, hey, you know, we've been having a really nice time. You're definitely one of the best. Wink. And the driver's like, oh yeah, of the $1 million club, implying that there have been many women he has done this with.
He literally says a few dozen.
A few dozen. And she's like, okay, can you stop the car and let me out, please?
Yeah.
And they do. They let her out. And the driver says after, like, why did you do that? And he's like, I wanted to end it. And he's like, but why? She was great. And he says, because she will never look at me the way she looked at him. Now, that said, I feel like there were some troubling abusive tendencies in that relationship. And love is not enough. Love does not excuse abuse. You might really love somebody and look at them like they hung the moon. But if they're abusive, it's time to not be with that person.
Oh, you mean between her and Woody Harrelson?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want them to be together at the end of this movie either. I don't want her to be with this billionaire who shouldn't exist as a concept either.
No, but I don't want her to be with Woody Harrelson.
Me either. I want her to be with someone who like doesn't see every little thing she does as like hurting them as like a person. I don't know. It just seemed real gross to me the way they treat her in the movie.
It's awful. But she gets on a bus where we saw her in the beginning during those 8 minutes of exposition. And then she arrives in what I can only describe as Silent Hill because it's just like gray fog.
It is so gray. Yeah.
But she gets out to the dock where they proposed originally 7 years before. Woody Harrelson is there and they recommit to each other. They don't sign the divorce papers. They're going to end up together, even though we don't like it. And I hope they stiff those hippo people and make the billionaire pay for it. And that's the movie.
So having seen the movie, we talked about the movie. What did you think about Indecent Proposal?
I don't need to watch it again. I'd watch Honeymoon in Vegas instead, which is very much a similar story.
Way better than this.
But a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Not as many sex scenes, but a lot more fun.
And Bruno Mars. So yeah.
And Bruno Mars.
I don't know if you guys could tell, I kind of hated this movie. I really did not care for it. Hope to never watch it again. Kind of pissed I paid $3.99 to rent it tonight. I guess the 90s were just terrible to women, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But man, this is not, it was a hard watch for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, Paige, do you have any fun facts for us?
I do.
Well, here it is with your fun facts.
Indecent Proposal, fun facts. Director Adrian Lin, who, by the way, because it is erotic thriller month,
yeah,
and Adrian Lin has directed most of the erotic thrillers we've done.
Yeah, this name's gonna come up a bit.
They're always nuts, and there's always a weird kind of misogynist bent to them in a way, which I find really interesting. Honestly, I was trying to think about like watching movies like this, erotic thrillers in general. I kind of like because it's more similar to watching a horror movie. Like when you're watching a really good rom-com, you're like, oh yes, I do want them to be together. Like, yeah, like when I watched like, episode 5 of Heated Rivalry and you're like, yes, go down on the ice. This and movies like this, instead, you're like, no, don't leave it. Don't go anywhere with that person. And
right.
I like that. It's a fun to, change things up.
Yeah.
Anyway, Adrian Lin, purveyor of many movies with problematic character relationships. He and Demi Moore fought on set over her character the entire movie, with Woody Harrelson having to try and mediate between the two. He wanted Demi Moore to show vulnerability, which I do think would put her more in the camp of she was attracted to Robert Redford and wasn't as resistant, potentially.
Sure.
But she defended her performance, so they fought on set. But then Adrian Lyne has said when he got to editing the movie, he thought that she had portrayed it what he wanted all along and then apologized to her after. So,
Oh, good for him for apologizing. Honestly, that's great.
yeah, good for him for apologizing. Yes. He originally did not want to cast Woody Harrelson, even though it had been recommended. But then he saw White Men Can't Jump, and he decided to, cast him. Although Woody Harrelson said in an interview that he felt very uncomfortable doing these sex scenes with Demi Moore because he was good friends with Bruce Willis.
I mean, that's fair. They were married at the time, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Additionally, the tears that her character cries during that girl that got away speech from Robert Redford, they filmed that scene without her knowing that story and knowing those lines. She didn't get that part of the script.
Oh, wow.
So on set was the first time she was hearing them, and those tears are genuine based on that story.
Okay, yeah.
Which is actually kind of sweet. During the auction scene, Robert Redford is supposed to leave the room, right, as we talked about, but he kept missing his cue because he was listening to the jokes that Billy Connolly was saying, because apparently Billy Connolly was improvising most of that scene.
And Billy Connolly is just was uniquely gifted at that. Like, the dude could just stand up and do a whole stand-up set that was original, and just not planned. He was just a unique comedic mind.
Okay, there are many different iterations of this movie that went through pre-production before finally becoming the movie we saw today. This was originally designed for Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, who had just gotten married, to play opposite each other, with Warren Beatty as the billionaire. Now, we may watch another movie this month that is basically some of that. Maybe later. Who knows?
We'll see.
But also Julia Roberts was offered the role of Diana and she turned it down. That would make this basically Pretty Woman. But those were some of the other people that they interviewed when they looked at the script. Halle Berry was interested in this, but refused an opportunity to audition.
Okay.
Because the movie did not want to add racial undertones to the plot, and they thought it would be not great for a very rich white man to offer to purchase a black actress. And yes, I
mean, he offers to purchase a white actress in this.
It's not great
it's
either
gross.
way.
It's gross either way. I mean, I understand why you wouldn't want to do that.
Sure.
But maybe the concept of a person buying another person and their viewpoint in the world they exist in is that, I have the right to do that.
Right.
That character is still in this movie, whoever.
100%.
It's gross. It's really gross. I hated it.
It's gross. There's just an extra layer of gross. Now,
I agree.
Oddly enough, this movie is based on a book. And in the book, Robert Redford's character is Arab and Woody Harrelson's character is Jewish. So there is a specific racial undertone to the plot of the book that they took out when they made the movie.
Okay.
Now, Demi Moore had said when she read the script initially, she was apprehensive about the amount of sex and nudity, even though she had posed nude previously. But she cut a deal with the director saying that he was free to shoot the scenes however she wanted, but she would have basically review footage and cut if there was anything she thought was too gratuitous. To be honest, I don't think it's very gratuitous. I think it is mostly fine through this movie. I don't remember anything being extreme.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that would be over the top. I mean, maybe they shot some stuff that didn't make it that she was concerned about, but I don't think you saw anything that was gross or anything.
No, she had said that she considered the scenes to be more erotic than sleazy, which fit the tone of the film, and didn't cut anything.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
Her dress, which was Thierry Mugler, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but it generated so much interest after the movie. Multiple other designers kind of copied that dress, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson, when he was cast in this, was supposed to be working on Benny and June, also from 1993, and he had signed a contract to do this movie. MGM sued, and Paramount settled for $500,000 to have Woody Harrelson for this movie. Coincidentally, Benny and June's Johnny Depp had been approached to play Woody Harrelson's role in this film and turned it down. So we ended up with a flip.
Interesting, yeah.
John Cusack and Charlie Sheen both turned it down. I think John Cusack would have been a really interesting choice.
Especially at the time.
Yeah. Now, when they were shooting those fast close-ups of dice in the gambling scenes, that was shot by one of their up-and-coming cinematographers on this set, who would go on to remake some of the same shots in one of his movies that we have also done on this podcast. Any guesses as to who that was?
Have we done Rounders? I have no idea. Like, who was it?
It was from Armageddon, so it was Michael Bay.
Michael Bay, yeah.
Michael Bay's gambling scenes in Armageddon. He basically did them first in this movie.
Okay.
And I'll end on this one because this is a fun little 90s tidbit that for those of you who grew up after might not know about this. But when this first came out on VHS, Paramount Home Video did colored cassettes or pressing cassettes. They're still VHS tapes, but they are called cassettes even though they are not audio cassettes.
Right.
So this one was green. They did this 5 other times with 5 other movies. Ghost was white. Godfather Part 3 was gold. The Firm was blue. And The Hunt for Red October was red.
That makes sense.
And those are your fun facts.
Well, thank you for those fun facts, Paige. Let's talk a little bit about box office. So what do you think the production budget was for Indecent Proposal?
I mean, they're going a lot of places. There's a lot of wasted screen time in public places, which is expensive and time consuming.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this cost about $30 million.
It was $38 million at the time, which if you adjust for inflation is $85.9 million today. Now, that sounds like a lot of money, but so this movie came out April 9th of 1993, and it was number 1 the weekend it came out. It beat The Sandlot that also premiered that weekend. Number 3 was Cop and a Half. Number 4 was The Adventures of Huck Finn, and number 5 was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Ooh.
What do you think Indecent Proposal made in its opening weekend, Paige?
Opening weekend, I think this makes $18 million.
Yeah, $18.3 million.
Getting weirdly good at this.
Yeah, which is really good. I mean, Sandlot made $4 million, almost 5 technically. It was 4.9, but still, it crushed.
Yeah, I bet Sandlot cost a lot less to make though.
I bet it did. I don't have the numbers on that, but I'd be shocked if it was more than $38 million at the time.
Yeah, there's no way.
It probably also didn't have the legs that this movie had. No, I'm not talking about Demi's. It did really well. It's kind of heartbreaking. So it was number 1 for a month.
Jeez.
It was for the first 4 weeks it was out. It was number 1. In its 5th week, it was 3. And its 6th week, it was 4. 7th week, it was 6th. And then it was 8, 10 in its 9th week. And then was never again in the top 10. But what do you think it brought in domestically at the box office, Paige?
I'm going to say $74 million.
Yeah, it made $106 million domestically at the box office.
People were horny in 1993.
I honestly think it made its money off of the taboo nature of the film and Demi Moore just looking the way she does in this movie. It also made $159.9 million internationally. This movie made $266.6 worldwide, which is a shitload more than the $38 million budget. If you adjust that $266.6 million for today's dollars, that's $602.9 million today. It made a ton of money. Anyway, that's your box office. Paige, you want to hit us with that romance scale?
Yes, our romance scale is a scale of 1 to 4 of how romantic we found the movie today. Todd, how romantic was this for you today?
I'm going to give it a barf. It was a 1. I hated it.
Yeah, no, this was not romantic at all.
Although I will give maybe a 1.5 for the sex scenes with Woody Harrelson up front. You know, like they're...
Yeah, sure. That's roars.
Yeah.
Our roar
on the
scale,
roar
we'll give it a 1.5. Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're still together, Paige?
God, I hope not.
Same.
But probably.
I know.
And that's sad.
It is sad. Yeah. I really hope Demi Moore beats up that hippo, takes the $1 million back, and never talks to any of these assholes again.
Yeah. I hope she and the hippo end up together.
Honestly, would love.
Fighting crime with Megabat.
Yeah, love that.
It's a later sequel. We kind of deviated from the format. You get it.
Yeah, it happens. You know, the later ones don't get great.
Yeah. Megabat is more of a okay bat, but you know what? The nostalgia carries a lot.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's your romance scale and your roar scale.
Yeah. So this week, Paige, you made us watch Indecent Proposal and How Dare You. And next week, what are you going to make us watch as we continue Erotic Thriller Month?
The Housemaid. We are watching The Housemaid.
Yeah.
Let me double check where it is streaming for you guys to know about it. Trigger warning, there is some abuse in that movie I already know about.
All right.
So heads up. But it is streaming on YouTube, Amazon, Fandango. It is right now $5.99 to rent on Amazon, discounted from $19.99. So that should tell you how good it's doing. But it is based on a book, and a lot of people were excited about what was going to happen in this movie. Amanda Seyfried is in it. It's a whole big thing.
It's not the Housemaid from 2026. It's the Housemaid from 2025.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There's a movie that came out this year called Housemaid. The one we're doing is technically called The Housemaid.
The Housemaid. The Housemaid. It also includes Michele Morrone from the 365 films. So, little bonus Massimo for you.
All right. Maybe his dad will get killed from space again. But that's your homework for next week, is to watch The Housemaid from 2025 and then report back for that episode.
And hey, do you have any reviews for us, Todd?
I do. I'm going to read one of our most recent Spotify comments that came in from our most recent Drive Me Crazy episode. And this comment comes from Cosmo, and they say, the Animal Liberation Front, which is featured in that movie.
Yes.
The Animal Liberation Front got put on the FBI terrorist watch list a couple years after this movie for placing bombs at homes and businesses of people involved in animal research and for a string of arsons. So I guess the movie was right about Ali Lauder's character and was getting into some real bad stuff.
They could have just stolen monkeys, guys. There's no need to do bombs when you could do Planet of the Apes.
Right?
Think it through. Think it through.
I know, right? So Cosmo, thank you so much for that Spotify comment. And if you want to have me read your Spotify comment or 5-star Apple review, leave us one of those things, then I'll do just that. So yeah, if you guys like this show and want to hear our other show where we talk about horror movies, that is The Horror Virgin. That's the only other podcast I am on, but Paige is also on Cult Podcast, which you can find at Cult Podcast. And you can find us on social media. I am at Todd J. Awesome, literally everywhere. Paige is at Paige Wesley on Instagram.
No, it's at Rampage Wesley on Instagram and TikTok, at Paige Wesley on Twitter.
That's right. All right. So that's where you can find Paige. If you want to find the show, we are at Romancing the Pod Show, right?
Yep. Romancing Pod Show on Twitter.
Well, and Instagram, right?
And Instagram, but it's show SHO because character limits. If you start typing Romancing the Pod, it'll come up.
It'll definitely come up on Instagram. I don't know about Twitter because I haven't posted on Twitter in a hot ass minute. So like, who knows? But that is where you can find more of us. So yeah, guys, give us a follow. Support the show any way you can. We'd love it.
Smash that like button.
Hell yeah.
And that's going to be it for us, you guys. I'm Paige.
And I'm Todd.
And you complete us
to completion. Bye. This movie should not exist as a concept, nerds.